Rain hammered the windshield like bullets. Elena Carter tightened her grip on the steering wheel, her knuckles pale under the flashing highway lights. The steady rhythm of the wipers was the only sound breaking the silence. Apart from the soft breathing of her son, Noah, sleeping peacefully beside her, his tiny chest rose and fell in his car seat, a picture of innocence, completely unaware that their lives were just seconds away from changing forever. The calm was shattered by the robotic voice of the GPS, recalculating. Elena frowned, tapping the screen. That's weird, they were on the main highway. A straight shot through the Arizona desert. Why would it recalculate now? She glanced out the window. The road ahead grew darker, swallowing the last of the streetlights. There were no other cars, just the endless stretch of wet, black asphalt disappearing into the night. It felt like they were the only two people left in the world. Then, her phone buzzed. A jarring vibration against the passenger seat. A known caller, a prickle of. A knees ran down her spine. Who would be calling her this hour? On a number she didn't recognize. She hesitated, then declined the call, her thumb hovering over the screen. It immediately rang again, and again, persistent, aggressive. Her heart started to race, a frantic drum against her ribs. Who was this? With a trembling hand, she finally answered. Hello, silence, a heavy, static-filled void. Then, a whisper snaked through the phone, so low she almost missed it. You shouldn't have left. Elena's blood ran cold. The voice, it was distorted, but there was an echo of familiarity that made the hairs on her arms stand up. It sounded like Ryan, her ex-husband. But how? He shouldn't even have this number. Before she could process the thought, before she could even breathe out his name, a blinding glare filled her rearview mirror. Headlights to massive orbs of light, blinding her from behind. A truck, a monster of a vehicle, swerving dangerously close, its horn blaring a deafening roar that shook her little car. It was coming right for them. Pure, instinctual panic took over. Elena screamed and jerked the wheel hard to the right. The tires screamed in protest, losing their grip on the slick road. The car skidded, hydroplaning across the wet asphalt. The world became a dizzying blur of rain, lights, and her own terrified reflection in the window. And then a sickening crunch of metal on metal. The guardrail exploded. The world flipped upside down, gravity ceasing to exist for a terrifying moment. Glass shattered. Metal twisted. The last thing she saw was the dark, churning surface of the Colorado River rushing up to meet them. Then, impact. And silence. An eerie, muffled quiet as the car plunged into the dark water. Bubbles streamed past the windows. Darkness enveloped them. A deep, bone-chilling cold began to seep in. Elena's eyes snapped open. Freezing water was rushing into the car, flooding the footwells, climbing up her legs. Her first thought, her only thought, Noah, the water was rising fast, too fast. It was already at her waist. She turned, her movements sluggish against the water's weight. Noah was awake now, strapped in his seat, his terrified cries muffled by the water filling the cabin. It's okay, baby. Mommy's here. Her voice was a choked sob. Her hand shook violently as she fumbled with her seatbelt buckle. It was stuck. Come on. Come on. With a desperate shove, it finally clicked open. She lunged for Noah's door, but it wouldn't budge. The immense pressure from the river sealed it shut, turning their car into a watery tomb. The vehicle was sinking deeper, the last pockets of air rapidly disappearing. Elena's breathing became wild, desperate gasps for air that wasn't there. She was running out of time. Her lungs burned. Then, a thought pierced through the panic. Something she'd read or seen in a movie break the window. Her eyes darted around the dark, submerged interior. The thermos, her heavy, metal thermos, was floating near the roof. She grabbed it, her grip clumsy in the cold. She slammed it against the side window. Once, the glass shattered, but held nothing. She drew her arm back again, putting every ounce of her fear and adrenaline into the blow. Twice. Crack. The window didn't just break, it imploded. The remaining air rushed out as the freezing river water burst inside like a monster unleashed. A violent, chaotic torrent that slammed into her. Elena gasped, swallowing a lungful of icy water. She coughed, choking, but her focus was singular. She ripped Noah from his seat, his little body limp in her arms, and with a primal scream trapped in her throat, she kicked toward the jag opening, toward the surface. Up, up, up. They exploded out of the water into the cold, rainy night air, gasping. Sputtering, Elena's arms ached, but she didn't stop. She swam with a strength she didn't know she possessed, dragging Noah toward the muddy river bank. She finally felt soft earth beneath her feet and collapsed, pulling him onto her chest. He was so still. Then he coughed, a racking, painful sound, spitting up water, and then he cried. A loud, healthy, furious cry. He was alive. He was alive. Relief washed over Elena in a wave so powerful it buckled her. She broke down in ragged sobs, clutching him tightly, burying her face in his wet hair. They had made it. They were safe. But then headlights cut through the darkness from the bridge above. A single silhouette stood at the railing, perfectly still, watching them. Just watching. Not calling for help. Not moving a muscle. Elena squinted through the downpour, her heart pounding a new, terrified rhythm. As her vision cleared, her breath caught in her throat. Her heart stopped. It looked like Ryan, her ex-husband. But that was impossible. Ryan Blake was supposed to be out of her life, forever. As if sensing her recognition, the figure slowly, deliberately, stepped back into the darkness and was gone. Elena trembled, pulling Noah closer. The cold of the river nothing compared to the chill that now gripped her soul. She whispered into the storm, a question meant for the ghost on the bridge. What are you doing here? This was only the beginning. Someone knows Ellen has survived.